Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. I hope you guys are having a great day. We have a really important video to talk about many things that are happening within the market, of course, Palantir included. However, what we see is the majority of the market, specifically the big indexes, they have a big reversal and momentum that continues to kind of achieve these all-time highs right now and basically wiped out the Dow Jones pullback that we saw in yesterday's trading session, which was almost one of the worst days for the Dow Jones in the year of 2024 after we had some economic data, some jobs data that was kind of lowering the probability of interest rate cuts come September. We're going to be talking about this, and specifically one thing that I think that we do have that is continuing to lead the momentum is NVDA. This is one of the biggest stocks that are out there that just had record earnings. We're going to be talking about some really critical details, specifically talking about the stock split, why this happens, when you guys can expect to see this happen if you do own NVIDIA, and how this can really affect the whole AI market. Of course, we're going to be talking about Palantir too. Some of you guys have mentioned, to have me acknowledge some of the insider trading that we are seeing and possibly why this is leading to a little bit of a pullback, really testing some of the critical support levels right now. However, Palantir actually traded pretty well today in the area that it is sitting in terms of trading patterns. So before we get too far, hit that like button, subscribe for daily videos, and of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm collecting all the data and dispatching it to you. Now, quickly, let's talk about Palantir price action, how we usually start off the video up here at 1.4% in the green at $21. It's great to see here that Palantir is able to get back out of the 20s, kind of where their critical support level is sitting here at the 20s. We've seen some important reversals that have been triggered here following this head and shoulders bearish technical pattern. Now, this is also after the earnings sell-off we saw here. Remember, Palantir had a small change in their future guidance. Of course, a lot of people know this if you're big into PLTR, and we saw them go to the 25s down back here to the lower 20s. I think here in the short term, in my prediction, we're still going to continue to see PLTR kind of trading sideways as the market really tries to figure itself out. And if Palantir doesn't really have any major big news outlooks or breakouts or anything like that, or kind of big news headliners, I think we're going to still continue trading sideways for some time, coming here with some lower trading volumes. Now, talking about the market here, what we are seeing, like I said, is tech stocks are leading the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ is leading to a higher end right here. And if we look at the major indexes, you can see we have the NASDAQ over up 1.1% right here. NVIDIA being a big key player, like I said, in this momentum that we are seeing in terms of a market shift. Now, talking about that specifically, traders right now are sitting really split on the probability if the central bank is going to slash its rates in the September meeting. A few weeks ago, we had about a 70% probability that these rates were going to experience their first cut come September. This has now came down after we've seen some economic data and also with some jobs data. Talking about here, we've seen a big shift, and this is what led to the Dow Jones kind of having a sell-off yesterday. This is down to about 50%. It's evenly split. So now it's just going to be a matter of time. We're going to wait for more inflationary reports, a lot of other big kind of macroeconomic indicators that will give us an idea if interest rates are going to be cut. But nonetheless, what I do want to make sense of this information is we're still seeing a lot of buying pressure coming into the market. And even if we're seeing from bearish headlines and inflationary headlines that don't look the best, we're seeing these small pullbacks on a trading day, but you kind of see them in the next few trading days that all gets recovered and wiped out right now. So it does show you that we're continuing to be in this bull market. And specifically, that's what I wanted to talk about here with the 7 things to know about upcoming NVIDIA's split. Now, what they are going to be doing is a 10-for-1 split next month. And what this means is if you own one stock of NVIDIA, you're going to be getting 9 more shares as the stock is going to be split in 10. And looking at the details right here, this is going to go into effect after the market close on June 7th of 2024. And this is going to be a split adjusted basis on June 10th of 2024. Now, the reason why companies do that is because the price per share right now is very expensive. It's over $1,000 each. And this can really make it difficult for new traders to get into NVIDIA stocks. Lowering the price through the split really helps alleviate the problem and attracts incoming investors who want to get a share of the company, because now basically it's 1/10 of the price. Now, what this is going to result in, of course, is a proportionate increase to the number of authorized shares available. And also another important thing regarding all the NVIDIA stock split details is that they are going to be increasing their quarterly cash dividend by 150%, which is going to be equivalent to 1 cent per share after the split. And the reason that they're doing this is basically trying to be more competitive with some of the other big tech stock companies that are out there. Now let's talk about PLTR, get into the nitty-gritty about what's happening with the stock. Like I said, we're seeing trading sideways right now. A big thing that a lot of people, and what you guys have talked about in the comments, is that we're starting to see a decent amount of insider selling. And what we've seen specifically within the previous history right here is that we've seen the director and specifically more shares over the last 3 months. Insiders have sold 18,400,000 shares of the company's stock that is valued at $414 million. And corporate insiders now own 12.93% of the company's stock. What this tells me, and insiders they sell stock for multiple different reasons. I think it's important to acknowledge that this does not necessarily mean that, hey, they know something that's really bearish about the company or anything like that. No, there can be many different reasons on why insiders do sell stocks, but it is important to acknowledge. And what we are seeing is, like I said, that 18,000 shares of the company stocks that have been valued right here at that $414 million. Now, these could be shares that were accumulated at a much more cheaper price. And hey, they could be looking to raise some capital or willing to take some profit on the stock that they do have. That's not necessarily a bad thing and does not always indicate a bad thing. Palantir is still doing well according to its earnings. One thing that I like here, Amit posted, he's another content creator for PLTR. Make sure you check out his stuff because he does a lot of 24/7 updates on PLTR. We are seeing the short interest that's actually starting to decrease, and it's down 1%, 1.16% exactly over the past 2 weeks, and now 4% of the floats, so 4% of the outstanding shares right now are sold short, and that comes in at 77.7 million. And that is not too bad considering where PLTR is sitting right now, even after we've seen that sell off from the mid 20s. Sitting here at only 4% of the float, that's actually a pretty low short percentage ratio of a stock, and specifically more of a speculative tech stock. So right now, a lot of people are not betting that PLTR is going to decrease in price. And where we sit right now, and determining for fair value getting caught up on my words, fair value valuations, the Zacks rank and what a lot of analysts are rating PLTR right now is at a hold. And we've talked about this specifically, indicating their valuation is a big thing. And we've seen this across the board. And we're also seeing some earnings per share revisions that are continuing to kind of go up and down. We see 7 bullish earnings per share revisions in the last 90 days and 2 bearish earnings per share revisions in the last 90 days. So specifically what we're going to see here is Palantir is still continuing to grow. We've seen this on a commercial side of things with AIP, 915 boot camps. This is really good, especially for conversions to actual clients and paying clients. We've seen this with the revenue metrics that are still continuing to increase. And of course, with the governmental contracts still continuing to, I want to say, build credibility and to maintain that relationship. However, the commercial side of things I think is a really important catalyst for PLTR. So as it trades sideways right here at the mid-20s, that is not necessarily a bad thing, because one of the biggest kind of criticisms of PLTR is, of course, its valuation. So the more that PLTR grows as a company and does better on its balance sheet, even though it already has an amazing balance sheet, it grows more into its valuation as it matures. And this is really important for a lot of those value-oriented investors that PLTR is just too expensive for them right now. And it is expensive. People are paying a premium, but they're also paying a premium for all the other SaaS type AI stocks that we're seeing right now. The market is in an AI boom, and we're really seeing no cooling off of that. Even with NVIDIA, like I said, that now needs to go through a 1-for-10 reverse stock split, trying to stay ahead, trying to stay attractive for new potential customers that want to get a piece of the pie. So the AI boom is still continuing here. I am kind of not too concerned about the insiders that are selling. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. If they're just trying to raise some funds for other reason or taking profits because they got it at a much cheaper price, then that's awesome for them. I mean, why would you not? So where we're sitting right now, of course, Data Dispatch still bullish on PLTR. I think we're going to continue to trade sideways here for a little bit. We're going into this Memorial weekend. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Find something to do, get outside, enjoy the sun. Don't get too caught up because we got a little break from the market here. So take care, peace out, and I'll catch you guys later.